Hello fellow viewers. Before I proceed to my video, go check out Academy of Edit's video on how to create a VHS effect on After Effects. It's a massive inspiration to this video. Coincidentally, he uploaded a god-tier video on suspense right after I uploaded my analog horror stuff,
which you totally should check out if you haven't.
Link to his channel will be in the description.
When I uploaded AH2 to my channel, I thought to myself, yeah, that would be a great tutorial for those who want to make it themselves. Especially because, so the first step is to create your video with the correct settings. When you are creating a project in whatever video editing software you are using, you have to change the resolution to a 4:3 ratio. How can I do that, you asked? It's quite simple. Grab a calculator, put 4 divided by 3, then multiply it by your width. The number that it gives you is your height. This is the aspect ratio of normal VHS, thus making the video seem like it's more authentic. This is completely optional if you want. For those that want to see my face, I won't be doing any face reveals because I don't feel like putting my face up in the internet. I don't feel like adding my face. So the last part of making your video is making the audio sound like utter garbage, like your mic was created by a potato that's been rotting in the garbage. Now that you got the correct settings in, it's literally time to make your video. Yes, I did create a PowerPoint and then shoved my iPhone 11 camera into my cat's face. Along with potatifying my sound, I also added VHS white noise to add to the aesthetics. Now that your video is done, it's now time to add the effects. So open up Adobe After Effects and create a new project and a new composition. When creating a new composition, it will open up a window called Composition Settings. This is where you name your composition. You can name it whatever you want. For me, I'm just gonna call it tutorial. Change your width and height to your video width and height. If it doesn't allow you to change it, it might be because the preset is not set to custom. Also, you might want to uncheck link aspect ratio. Next, change the composition duration to the duration of your video. Now that you have your timeline ready, it's time to add your footage. So find the video that you rendered out and drag it onto your timeline. If not all of your footage is showing, make sure that the duration in your composition setting is long enough. Or you might be just too zoomed in, which you could change by the slider on the bottom. Next, add an adjustment layer and make sure it's on top of your footage. Now that you got your adjustment layer, add an unsharp mask, fast box blur, and then add grain effect. Learning how to video edit includes playing around with the effects, so I'm going to dedicate the next 5 minutes for you to play around. Alright, let's jump right into it. So the first effect that we're going to look at is the unsharp mask. As you can see, the amount is how unsharp do you want it. So I'm going to set that to 100, and the radius is how large do you want that unsharp mask. I'm going to put that at 10. The threshold, don't worry about it. The next effect I'm going to talk about is the fast box blur. The blur radius is the blurriness, and the iterations is how boxy the blurs are. The lower the number of iterations, the boxier it's going to be. I'm going to leave the blur radius at 1 and iterations to 6. Next effect is add grain. You're going to notice that whenever you look at your footage, it's going to have a box. That's because it's in the viewing mode of preview. Keep it at that at the moment. I'm not gonna really mess with the settings because I am pretty satisfied with just the ones, except for aspect ratio, which I find it better whenever it's stretched horizontally, which is any number above 1. Play with your grain settings and look at your preview box and see what looks best in your opinion. Once you're done with your effects, make sure you click the viewing mode to final output. Now it's time for the second to last step. Drag and drop a VHS overlay into your timeline. Then make sure that footage is on top of all your layers. It is most likely that this VHS overlay is not the same aspect ratio or resolution to what you have. All you have to do is just stretch it in and you'll be fine. In this next step, under keying, drag color range onto your VHS overlay and click the eyedropper that has a plus next to it and click the white box next to it. You're gonna notice that there's a little bit gray. Just click there with the plus eyedropper again. You can mess with the settings below, but I'm not gonna go over that. I'm pretty satisfied with what I have. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and see you next time, which is probably gonna be in 6 months or something like that.